Another Friday. We've got some excellent guests in here, and I want to introduce to you two incredible members of the community. I say legendary, actually. So I'm hyping it up because it's going to be worth all that, right? So we have with us the Barbara Toles. I say still the honorable Barbara Toles, right? And Jerrilynn Freelon. And they're both coming to us from Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Inc. I want to make sure I get this right. And it's the Gamma Pi Sigma Alumni Chapter in Milwaukee. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. See now, all right. Let me finish my little piece then and be done because I don't want to flub any of this up here. So you're coming today in part because you have an upcoming event, but we're going to get to that.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to talk about the two of you. Where you grew up, how you got to where you are today. And so then we can kind of work our way into your event as well.
Good morning. I want to say good morning to your listening audience. And I have to give a shout out to my fellow Divine Nine Greeks.
Okay.
So shout out to the D9.
Oh, Byron's all happy in the corner over here.
All
happy.
I know which one he is.
There we go.
All right. Well, just a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. I graduated from West Division High School.
Okay.
After that, went on to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, graduated from there. And I want to make sure that I say I am a proud product of Milwaukee Public Schools.
Okay.
I've got to say that. I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for the education that I received in Milwaukee Public Schools.
Okay.
So, we often give our schools a bad name, and I want to make sure that people understand everybody's experience may be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a product, and I'm a proud product of
Wow.
MPS. So I grew up in MPS, and in terms of my career, I ended up being in student services on the collegiate level for 30 plus years. Okay. And first I started out as an admissions counselor at the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Oh, wow.
And I did that for about 4 years. Then I moved back to Milwaukee and I was a recruiter at UWM for about 4 years. Then I moved over from there to Milwaukee Area Technical College.
Okay.
And I was an advisor, an adjunct faculty member, and played a different roles, had different positions there. While there, I went on leave for 8.5 years and was a legislator who represented the 17th Assembly District
Mm-hmm.
in the Wisconsin Assembly. And so now I'm pleased and I'm happy to say that I'm a retiree. and I'm glad about it.
Wait, I'm tired for you. Just going through all that. And did one of the things that we were very concerned about is so many families not knowing what the educational opportunities are out here.
Mm-hmm.
There are some really great jewels in the MPS system.
Absolutely.
There's some problems, but
Yes.
there's also some jewels in there,
Yes.
right? And so we took it upon ourselves as a station, and we will be, I'm going to give you the little preview right now, right? So we will be announcing next week our WNOV Educational Excellence Series. And we have reached out to all the schools.
Wonderful.
200 public, private, charter, parochial, all of them. And the schools that actually stepped up and wanted to participate as part of the series were all MPS schools.
Great.
And
All
so we're going to be
right.
able to announce and introduce to the audience. We have 58,000 African-American children who are school age from K to 12. And we want to make sure these parents know some of these jewels before they enroll their children for next year's academic school year. So thank you for referencing that. That was a great lead in for being able to
Wow.
pre-announce
All right.
for next week. So
Wonderful.
great. So and you were in the legislature. What part of the city was that assembly district for you?
Well, interesting that you say that. This corner was my eastern boundary.
Okay.
The Hampton Avenue was primarily my from 20th to maybe 92nd.
Oh, wow.
Was primarily my northern boundary.
Okay.
92nd Street West
Yeah.
was the west boundary. And then I had Center Street was my southern boundary.
Okay.
And then there were some dips in there. So, but I'm just going.
In
on
other
the
words, you were there
outskirts
long
of it,
enough.
Outskirts of the boundary.
Yeah, you were there long enough for redistricting to happen in the process.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's beautiful. And we were constituents of yours.
Yes.
See, that's why I know your name long before I got a chance to meet you, is
Okay.
because of all that service along the way. So
Thank
you so much for your service.
Thank you.
And Jerrilynn, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you. Came in. Let me just say for the audience that if you are only listening on the radio, you're getting the show, but you're not getting all the show, right? Because we stream on Facebook and on YouTube live, and it's archived there. So if you want to actually now have the other sensation of being able to see these beautiful ladies who are in here decked out in all of their bling for the sorority.
Blinging for the radio.
There you go. See, this is a very modern station. So we actually have it's streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and you can actually get in here. Yep, that's right.
Wow.
All the cameras, right? So people can see you. And also, if you want to see them, you just go to Facebook or YouTube and you can see all the bling yourself. So with that, Jerrilynn, take over. You just introduce yourself.
Good morning. I was born and raised in Grenada, Mississippi.
Oh.
Which is
There we go.
I was born and raised in Grenada, Mississippi, which is a small town between Memphis, Tennessee, and Jackson, Mississippi. And in my life story, that's significant because in the 60s, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did a march from Memphis, Tennessee to Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
When I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So one of the stories I tell people is I got a chance to meet him when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
I got a chance to hear him. I got a chance to interact with him and the whole civil rights movement as it was going through my town.
Wow.
I'm a product of desegregation in Mississippi because my family lived in a community where the predominantly Caucasian school was the closest school to us. And so my mom made the decision that she wanted us to have the best education. So I got to, from 5th grade, I got to go to a predominantly white school.
Okay.
Wasn't easy. I actually have PTSD from those days. I won't digress and go into that story, but I have some experiences. And when I write my book, I'll share some of those experiences.
Well, you have to come right back on the show and introduce the book then.
And I moved to Milwaukee in 1980.
Okay.
My father was a contract painter at Miller Brewing Company.
Oh,
so
wow.
when he moved from Grenada to Milwaukee, he got a job as a contract painter at Miller Brewing Company. My mom stayed in Mississippi because I was in college and my brother was in high school. So didn't want to upset us too much. So she stayed in Mississippi, allowed me to finish college and my brother to finish high school. And then the entire family was here in Milwaukee.
Oh, wow.
So when I came to Milwaukee, didn't know anybody, didn't know anything about it, but I had great foundation because I attended Alcorn State University.
Okay.
I went to a place where the folks who looked like me cared about me. So they made sure I was prepared to make a great contribution in the work world. I applied for and worked for Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company,
Oh, wow.
the largest life insurance company in the world.
Absolutely.
Had progressively more responsible and strategic roles. Worked there almost 4 decades.
Oh, wow.
Retired in 2017.
Okay.
Sat on my couch for a couple of years.
I don't believe that for a minute.
I was still very active in the sorority.
Now that I believe.
I have 2 children, a son and a daughter.
Okay.
And my daughter was going to Alverno. So she has a daughter. So grandma was being grandma.
Okay. Well, that's not just sitting around. That's a full-time job right there.
It is a full-time job. Then I was serving on the board of directors of Walnut Way,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
and became so interested in the work that they were doing and the changes they were making in the community and how they cared about the residents and all of those things, that I raised my hand and said, I want to be internal.
Okay.
I want to really get involved in the work.
Is that Dana was over there?
Um,
I'm trying to remember some of the folks that were involved. Boy, it's been a long time since I was over that way.
yeah, Walnut Way will be celebrating 25 years.
Yeah, I go back
in the
far
Lindsay
enough.
Heights community.
Yeah.
We'll be celebrating that this year. So
That's when I had
I was-
hair.
So I was hired by Antonio Butts.
I know it's been a long time, man. That's what I'm saying.
I was hired by Antonio Butts and the
Yeah.
board of directors to become
Okay.
the associate director of
Oh,
operations.
wonderful.
And so I've been able to utilize and take advantage of the breadth and depth of my skills that I
Mhm.
gained while I was working at Northwestern Mutual. And I will say it was part of a 15-year plan for me, because I knew I was going to be young when I retired, because Northwestern
Mhm.
Mutual had a great pension plan that allowed you to be able to retire early enough to continue to give to the community.
Oh, wow.
So I had always had the thought that I wanted to serve the community by working for a nonprofit agency.
Oh, well, but service. You both have it ingrained in you.
Mhm.
And so, when did both of you join the sorority?
So this is interesting because you got the old school.
Okay.
The old
Okay.
school of the old school.
Okay.
The retirees. That's
The re-
it. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Well, when did all this happen? When did you get involved?
I'll defer to my senior and let her go
Okay.
first.
Oh my goodness.
I pledged Sigma Gamma Rho sorority in the fall of 1974.
Okay.
My induction date was November 23rd, 1974.
Wow. You got this not an approximate date. You know exactly when it was.
Oh, we do. We all know what our date is.
Oh wow. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. And what drew you to it?
Well, actually, it was a situation where I had a best friend, and we were roommate. We were best friends in best friends in high school. Went to college, best friends, roommates. And she actually came home one day and said she was going to be a Sigma. And I was thinking about another one, but I thought to myself, there's no way my best friend and I can be in two different sororities. And that was it. That's how that decision was made.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
All that network. That network for you. And Jerrilynn, what about you? How did you get involved?
So I was inducted in Sigma Gamma Rho sorority in the spring of 1979.
Okay.
So
The 70s.
April 23rd, I just celebrated my 46th anniversary. So there's a Facebook post
Wow.
out there with my picture on it, touting the fact that it was one of the best decisions that I made.
Oh wow. And why?
Because-
Why was it
well,
one of the best decisions
It's
you
one of
made?
the best decisions I've made because it allowed me to not only network and meet women from all walks of life and folks in various capacities in my life, but it allowed me to practice my leadership skills
Mhm.
in a way that in other organization I would have been criticized and shouted out and made to feel bad if I didn't know something or couldn't do something.
Mhm.
So in a safe environment, I was able to practice my leadership skills and hone those skills and network. And it allowed me to take those learnings and mentor and coach others who were coming up behind me.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Now this is beautiful.
Mhm.
All right. So I can see now why you've been involved, and this is why you can't be sitting on a couch somewhere. I knew full well you weren't just hanging out on the couch anytime, right? So you've done this. For folks that are thinking about how they can get some of the benefits of what you've talked about, the kinds of benefits that you've gotten from the Divine Nine. Byron, I'm thinking about you over there. I hope that you got some of these skills too. Okay, well, Byron's amening over there too, so that's beautiful. If somebody were interested, what would you tell them about membership now?
So there are a couple of ways that you can learn about us. I will tell anyone, make sure it's the right fit for you, because what you need and what somebody else needed may be different.
Mhm.
So do your research.
Yeah.
Do the research. All the sororities in the Divine Nine have a website, and basically it's their name and So
Mhm.
you can put in sgrow1922.org, go on our international website, learn all about us. And there's also a link that tells you the various chapters that we have 500 chapters. So it
Okay.
tells you about the various chapters that are around the world.
Wow. And can you join as an adult post college?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay,
And
beautiful.
that's a little known fact. We actually are inducting more seasoned sorors
Okay.
because they wanted to join a sorority when they were in college, but for whatever reason they didn't do it. So they didn't realize that once they graduated from college, as long as you have the 4-year degree and you meet the other criteria that's set to be a
Mhm.
part of the organization,
Mhm.
you can still join.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. So, and you have a chapter here. What are some of the things that your chapter does?
Well, we actually have two chapters.
Oh, okay.
There's a Milwaukee chapter, the Gamma Pi Sigma chapter, and then there's the Brown Deer chapter, the Iota Psi Sigma chapter. And what do? Our core principles are service, scholarship, and sisterhood. So what we do is we're all about, the whole mission of our organization is to enhance the quality of life for women and their families in the US and globally. So we're always working on community service projects.
Mhm.
Our 5 national essential programs are Women's Health Initiative, where we focus on women's health. For somebody like me, October is Breast Cancer Survivor Month,
Okay.
Breast Cancer, Awareness Month. I myself am a breast cancer survivor. So
Mhm.
that's huge to me. And I'm happy that our organization, the organization that I'm a part of, definitely recognizes that month and reaches out. What we try to do is make sure that women know the importance of getting their mammograms early.
Mhm.
So we're educating them on that, and that's typically done September and October. Um, in January, we have Operation Big Book Bag and Project Cradle Care. Operation Big Bag is where we collect school supplies, book
Okay.
bags, excuse me. And what we do is we give them out to students in our community because we know that a lot of big book bag giveaways take place in August, September, in
Mhm.
the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
Well, by the time January rolls around, those supplies need to be replenished, and that's what we do. Then we have Project Cradle Care, where it's another project where we teach expectant mothers about the um, aspects of motherhood and the disparities in healthcare
Mhm.
surrounding Black women.
Oh, wow.
So, and then there's always a giveaway of items that babies need. And in February, we do a Black History Month quiz because we want our children to know and understand their history and
Mhm.
know how valuable we are to this world,
Mhm.
the contributions that we've made. In March, we have an annual youth symposium, and that's geared towards the youth, making sure that we supply them with a place where they can talk about their issues, not what we think their issues are, but what
Mhm.
their issues are, and how we can have them a safe place where they can address those issues and come and talk about that. And then in May, it's Swim 1922.
Oh, okay. See, I see how
Would
you
you
brought
like
that
to?
how you brought that right around. Because
Yes. I want to ask my soror if she'd like to add anything to what I've said
Well,
about our essential programs.
yeah, so I will add to the youth symposium. The youth symposium happens the second Saturday of March in all 500 of our
Oh,
chapters.
wow. Okay.
So it's a program that we all do at the same time. So we are having this monumental impact on the cities where we work and serve and live. So it's pretty cool that we all do it on the same Saturday.
Wow. Do you end up with young people, maybe using you as a reference or thinking about what college they might go to or whether they should go to college at all as part of those conversations, as part of them getting to know you along the way?
So we have a rowers club, which is a teen club.
Okay.
We spend time with girls between 14 and 18. They come, we teach them about college, how to
Ooh,
find scholarships. We teach them life skills. We even take them to our conference so they know how to travel and behave when they're in
okay.
hotels and
Mhm,
attend
mhm.
meetings and all of those fine things that they need to know in life to be
Yeah.
successful. And then of course, we teach them about scholarship, and we actually give our graduating seniors, we give a scholarship. So the other program that we do is in June. We do a scholarship. We give scholarships to
Look,
folks in this
y'all don't
community.
have enough time to sit down somewhere.
So our scholarship application process closed on Thursday,
Okay.
April 30th. So a team of folks, which includes me and several other sorors, will review the applications, make the decisions about who come in for an
Wow.
actual interview, and then we'll give
You
scholarships
know
to them.
what? I'm so tired now. We got to take a break and come right back to this conversation.
What's the difference between me and you?
WNOV family, we are back, and you are listening to The Difference. And my guests today are the Barbara Toles and the Jerrilynn Freelon, and they are both representing Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So far, I'm getting this all right, right? Okay, I'm not saying anything more than that because I don't want to get it wrong. So we were just talking during the break about for folks to join officially the sorority, you mentioned about, needing a college degree as one of those criteria, but you also have options for people to be able to join an affiliate of the sorority as well. And could you talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. So we recognize that there are women out there who have significant contributions to make to the communities. We recognize that there are women out there who have significant contributions to make to the communities where they live, work, and worship, but they don't happen to not have a 4-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't limit their opportunity to work with us. We have a Philos Club, and it's women who want to be in the community, who want to serve side by side with us, but they happen to not have a 4-year degree. They go to all the same stuff we do. They work in the community. They attend conference with us. They get a chance to enhance their skills. They learn leadership skills. So all the great things that we do in the sorority, we mirror that in the Philo Club.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's so wonderful. And I think, Barbara, you mentioned too during the break about the commonality of the Divine Nine.
Absolutely. When it comes to the Divine Nine, all 9 of us are all about community service. It's about improving the quality of life for the people in our community, and that's what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for somebody who might be looking to join a sorority or fraternity, they can't go wrong with either of the organizations,
Okay.
any of the D9.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of what my soror Freelon said here earlier. Just take a look at the website, get to know a few of the women or the men from organizations and see which group you have, I guess I would say, the best chemistry with,
Okay.
where you might find your fit. And that's the one you join.
So-
because again, we're all out here and there's more than enough work in our
Oh,
community
now that's right.
for us not to be tripping over one
Oh,
another.
thank you.
Yes.
No,
Thank you.
it's
Absolutely.
like we have a lot of work in our community, a lot of needs. And so we try to address some of those needs.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
we just remind people, figure out what your why is, and join the organization that's going to serve that why.
Mm-hmm. No, that's beautiful. Now, in terms of, again, how old is there an age limit in terms of being able to join any of the Divine Nine?
You mean on the back end?
Yeah. I assume there's a limit on the youth end, but now can anybody join? Is it still the young at heart as well?
Well, so we have sorors in our chapter who actually retired from their work life before they joined the sorority.
Okay.
So we have seasoned sorors.
So anybody,
Still
hey,
join.
you meet the criteria, you can come on.
If you meet the criteria and you want to work,
Okay, that's
emphasis
wait.
on the word work.
There we go. Okay, now.
Work.
So that's the
can
other
still
part of the
join.
criteria is
Yes.
okay.
We're about community service.
There we
so
go.
we're working.
Not just to be seen,
That's it.
to come do. Okay, well that's
That's it.
great. Well, so you talked a lot about the doing beforehand, and just all the list of events and activities and community engagement that you do. And it's incredible that all that happens because I don't know how y'all could have a job. You have to be retired to do all this stuff that you got going on.
Well, I mean, we manage, and when you kind of divvy up the work on a day like today, obviously our other sorors that are working are at work, and then the retirees step up. So,
Okay.
we make it work.
And I just want to share that the chapter, the Gamma Pi Sigma chapter, I've been an active member in that chapter. I've been an active member in that chapter for over 40 years.
Oh wow.
So I worked, raised kids, did all the things that you went back to grad school and got an MBA from Marquette, did all of those things and still remained active in the sorority.
Wow.
So it's finding ways to make it work. There were times when I couldn't do as much because I didn't have as much time, but it was important to me to stay engaged. So I found a way to stay engaged.
Well, you know, I'm old enough to remember that when that commercial on, talking about, you know, I can cook it up in the frying pan and all that. I can see the picture. Wait, hey, I can see it in my mind now. You know, the Superwoman. I could do it all. I could do it all. So that is incredible. So I know one of the reasons that you wanted to come now. We should have had you a long time ago. All these other events that you have had. So we'll have to make sure to bring you back in as these other events come up. But one of the things that you wanted to make sure to talk about today is the swim 1922.
Swim 1922.
Okay, now so we're going to just start from the base. What is that?
All right, you want to put up the
Hey,
logo so that they can see it.
Byron
while we're
Divine 9
talking?
back there. Can you put up the you know, again?
Flyer for
So,
us,
so now here's the
so
thing.
people will see it.
So here's the issue. I'm telling people again, if you don't watch the show, you know, the thing about watching it is you can hear it and watch it at the same time and see what's on the screen, the lovely ladies, as well as the flyer on the screen. Otherwise, if you just listen to the radio, you just have to hope you remember what's going on.
Well, okay. Well, we're really pleased and proud about Swim 1922. Swim 1922 is it's a partnership that was formed, and my soror will go into more details about that, with USA Swimming. Locally, we will be having an event on Saturday, November 17th from
May.
I'm sorry.
May, sweetie,
I'm jumping off the fire. I'm getting to that November date. So
Yeah.
forgive me, audience. Okay. I'm thinking about that as well. On May 17th, that's my correction here. May 17th from 10 to 2 at Noise Pool, we will be having a water safety clinic, and we will be partnering with Milwaukee County Aquatics.
But Barbara, some people say that Black folk don't swim.
Well, and you know what?
It's unfortunate. There's some truth to that. And
There
I'll
is.
share that in a minute.
There is. And the reason why this is so important is because we want to increase swim participation rates in our community so that we can decrease drowning rates. You're absolutely right. A number of people in our community don't know how to swim. When I was in high school, I went to, like I said earlier, I went to West Division High School. 10th grade, swim was a requirement. And a number of people, they just failed swim because they didn't want to take swim. And there's always been an issue with getting our hair wet. I don't know that issue is as big now as it used to be, with so many Black women having natural hair like myself. But that was always an issue. And another issue is that our kids didn't grow up near beaches, didn't necessarily go to the lakefront. I was older when I discovered the lake because it always seemed like that was a long way away. And then you get to be an adult and it's like,
and it's a lot of water.
You get to be an adult, and that's what it is. Our goal is to see to it that our kids are exposed and learn how to swim so that they don't drown. I wanted to give an example. I was reading an article, and it was such a sad article. It took place last month in Mississippi. Did you all see that, where these twin 18-year-old brothers, the twins, they were out fishing on the Mississippi Lake. And apparently one, according to the article that I read, one waded into the water and kind of was starting to get couldn't help themselves. It was in deeper water. And the other brother tried to help him, and they both ended up drowning.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. The Grady brothers. Did you remember reading that? Yes.
Oh.
And we don't want that to happen. We want our kids to learn how to swim. Now, for me, yes, I learned how to swim when I was in 10th grade, but I didn't follow up and go swimming after that. And there was a time in my life when I said, well, I think I could swim well enough to keep from drowning. I don't think that's the case anymore. And now I say that just simply because I would have to stay in water that's not above my head because I would get tired
Right.
in the water. And you can't get tired and you're in the 6 feet and you think you're going to stand up
Right.
and you don't know how to swim.
I know that's right.
No. So that's something that we really want to encourage our kids to learn how to swim. And like I said, it started with our partnership with USA Swimming.
Yeah.
And my soror will tell you a little bit more about that partnership.
So I just want to take a couple of minutes to give you a little bit of the history of USA Swimming and its partnership with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, because I don't want you to think this is something that we're just starting. Our past international Grand Ambassadors, Deborah Catchin-Smith, started the partnership with you.
Debo, for you, that's president. Basilis. That's the president.
I apologize.
Basilis is
That's right. I just want to make sure, Debo, that you know that's
I
the
meant
president.
to say president.
Yeah.
But you know, it happens so naturally.
She said Basilis,
I said
right? And I just wanted to translate. You know.
President.
Thank you.
Just to make sure.
You know, I just want to make sure.
Those folks who are not in the divine and don't know what that means.
There we go.
Anyway, our international president, Deborah Catchin-Smith, in 2016, started the partnership with USA Swimming. It was a big kickoff in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where we were founded, where we started. So we went back to the homeland of Indianapolis, Indiana. We had Olympic swimmers to come and get in the pool with individuals and to really help to make this something exciting and great for people to do. Because the reason that we took this on is there are some pretty startling attentions. There are some statistics. There is some truth to Black folks don't swim. For instance, 70% of African American children don't know how to swim.
70%.
70% of African American children don't know how to swim. And 60% of Hispanic children don't know how to swim.
Wow.
So Black and brown children don't learn how to swim.
Wow.
What would you attribute that to?
Many of them, as Barbara said, they don't live near the water. There are not a lot of pools in our communities because a lot of the kids in our communities used to go to the YWCA there on Tatonia and swim. Well, that pool's not available to them anymore. So all those kids who live in Lindsay Heights and around that area, there's no pool.
The same thing happened, Deneen Park. When I bought my home in 91, there was a pool in Deneen Park. That pool is no longer there.
Wow.
Well, they even took away like Moody Pool, went away in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it still actually functioning as a open to the public pool?
It is, but it is underutilized.
Wow. And I wonder how many people even know that it's available, you know, but I will say this, we have someone coming. I reached out to Milwaukee Rec, and we have somebody from Milwaukee Rec who's going to come on the show to talk about some of the summer programming that they've got coming up.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because we want to make sure all our kids know about all the options that are available. We want these kids, I want the work ethic that you got going on. I want all these kids to know what that is.
So the other thing I was going to share is what most of us forget. The human body is 60% water. So if you're in a situation, and this is what we, try to make sure people understand, if you're in a situation where you're in the water, you're not quite sure what to do, the worst thing you can do is panic. Because if you stay calm, the 60% of water in your body and the water that you're in will cooperate and work together, and you can actually float, and you can float until help gets there. But if you don't know that, you naturally panic. I used to tell my grandson, we used to go walking on the lake, and he'd be running along on the water, and I'd say, Cameron, come back over here, because if you fall in Lake Michigan, all I'm gonna do is dial 911 because I'm not jumping in there. But it's no sense in both of us dying.
Somebody got to be able to tell what happened.
Tell the story.
Somebody got to dial 911. Hope that help gets here to
There
get
we
you out.
go. That is, I tell you, it's so funny. Kids are invincible, right? Now, accepting your grandchild, right? Accepting your grandchild. Also, kids are not necessarily the brightest. Right. So in my case, now I grew up in a community where we still had a black pool and a white pool. And I just jumped on in thinking like everybody else is in the water. It must be simple enough to do. I just jumped in the water. I was like, I don't know how to swim. And I'm scrambling, trying to figure out how am I getting out of this water. I was not more than a couple of inches away from the wall, the pool wall. I mean, like when you panic,
Yes.
you don't know
Yes.
up from down,
That's what
sideways,
happens.
and literally all I had to do was touch the wall. I was like, oh, okay. But it was again being in water that was over. I was like, I'm gonna get in the deep end, boom. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how to do this. So I did have to go through, and my grandparents were like, oh no, you have to go through the class. And then I learned how to do all that. But it is one of those where you can also forget. You can go long enough where I'm like you, Barbara. It's been so long since I jumped in.
Can do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing the Olympic stuff anytime soon. So can people who qualifies to participate in this program?
Ages 4 and up.
Well, how up can you
from
go?
10, how often can you
Well,
go?
no, how up can you go?
As far up as you want to go.
Okay.
So if you'd like
We don't
to
discriminate
attend,
against the retirees. We let
Thank
them
you.
come and get in the water.
Okay, there we go.
if you'd like to attend, you're more than welcome to join us.
Now, I will be in Warsaw on that weekend, but, in spirit.
Because what will happen is there's going to be some instructions
Okay.
that'll be given.
Yeah.
And from 10:30 to 11:30, that's when that water safety is going to be
Mhm.
taught, teaching even about how to put on a life jacket and make sure it's one that fits, how to work with the little bubbles that they
Mhm.
have. And it's one of those situations where you need to be taught a few things before you actually get into the
I
water.
know that's right.
And then after that, we'll have a little snack period, and then
Now, Barbara,
there
you
will
were
be
holding out on me. You didn't tell me there were snacks.
a little snack. We like
We don't do nothing without snacks.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you.
gonna have our snack.
Thank you, because you got me wanting, come back from the
All
north.
right. And then at 12:30 there will be an open swim, and
Okay.
people would have an opportunity to swim
Oh,
until
beautiful.
2:00.
How much does this program cost?
This is a free program that our chapter is offering
Now, free will work all day.
every day.
How much are the snacks?
Oh, the snacks are free. We
Okay, so
don't
free
charge them for the
plus
snacks.
free is still equaling free for the whole thing, right?
This is our program.
Oh, that
yes.
is beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful. And how can somebody sign up to be a part of all of this?
Well, the flyer, they can sign up by on the flyer. There's a QR code,
Okay.
but they also can contact Milwaukee County at 257-8077 and ask for Lily and just register.
Wait, now,
for the
what's that
program.
number again?
It is 414-257-8077.
And who do I have to ask for?
Lily.
Okay. All right. And Lily will know what I'm talking about when I get
When
there.
you call and you say you'd like to register for the water safety clinic, Swim 1922,
Okay.
on Saturday, May 17th,
And it starts what time of the day?
10 o'clock.
10
in the
o'clock.
morning.
And how long
10
can it go
2,
to?
10 to 2.
10 to 2. So now I get my snacks in there. How early can I get the snacks?
Well, that's after the water
Oh,
safety.
okay. So you got to wait.
That's
you can't
after
just
the
come
water
get the
safety
snacks.
inclusion.
Okay, there. You got to come do your part first and get the water safety. Then you can have the snacks.
The snacks go afterwards.
Okay.
yes,
All right.
yes.
And then it's an open swim.
Yes.
So everybody can get in.
For those who want to
Okay.
stay and just enjoy the pool.
So this is
enjoy
something
the
a whole
water.
family could do.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
from the smallest to you say 4 years old,
And
right?
when you're talking about 4-year-olds, we want to make sure that the parents or a guardian, someone is with their 4-year-olds, because we don't want to be
There
responsible
we go.
for children who are underage being in the pool. So
Okay.
they have to come.
There we
with
go.
a
Okay, so don't
guardian.
be dropping don't slow the
No.
car down.
No.
Drop your kids off and
Drop
keep rolling.
Little
Right.
Junior and them off. On that, they got lunch and you get to swim.
Thank you. Thank you. This is not that kind of party.
No,
So,
no, not
Stop the car, get out of the car, come in with your child.
not when we're dealing with water.
Thank you.
No.
Okay,
absolutely
that is
not.
beautiful. So that's the only other rule is if you got a kid, bring your kid in. You come in with your kid.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is
What
beautiful.
Is the date again?
Saturday, May 17th,
Okay.
from 10 to 2 at Noise Pool.
Make sure we have a flyer here. As
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep mentioning that. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's something that I never learned to do. I'm not afraid of the
Well, yeah.
water.
So you
But
didn't
I
learn
will
to
get
swim?
in with a life jacket on, and I'll go all the way out in the middle, and I'll kick around and play in it. But I'm not a swimmer.
You're not gonna do
But
backstrokes.
No, I ain't gonna do none of that.
No strokes.
So
I'm not diving in. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna climb over in there.
wow.
Yeah, I'm past that stage.
And
Oh
you-
my goodness.
You touched on a good point, Debo, and that is many of our kids are afraid of the water.
Mhm.
So we don't want them growing up fearing the water.
Yeah.
We want them to be exposed to it, learn what they need to learn about the skills that you need in order to swim. They can play in. We want them to play and have fun. But it's important that.
And Barbara, let me say this: there have been times when I've been in certain environments with the pool and the whole nine that I wish that I had learned and really mastered it. And I see people that just looking there. You go to Vegas, you want to go out to the pool side,
right.
but you can't swim.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
I was in Cancun, Mexico at this beautiful resort, and the hotel pool actually flowed into the ocean.
Oh.
So it just drew you into the water. But if you can't swim, you're going to stand on the
well,
side
and
of
in
the
that
pool
case,
and
you could be
look at
swept out to the water.
Right.
So this is
And
another. So Debo,
but this
you could
is
actually
something.
go.
It sounds like this is something that parents could do for their child as a skill for life.
Or they can do it for
survival.
themselves. You hear it
so
in
many
any
aspects.
age.
Absolutely. And you hit on that. I once read an article where Jay-Z learned how to swim when Blue Ivy was born.
Okay.
So that let you know that he was anticipating that he was going to make sure that his baby was in the water and learned how to swim. And if something happened, he needed to know how to swim in order to save her
No,
if
that is
something
beautiful.
occurred.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
So there is no age limit, Debo, on being
What
able
are you,
to go.
What are you saying, Will?
I'm saying that. I'm saying that free.
What are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm telling you, free plus free is still free.
Free.
And
Snacks.
any age group over the age of 4 can participate.
Snacks, Debo. Snacks in
Thank you.
between.
Thank you.
I have no desire to
But Debo, there's
swim
Cabo.
like that. I'm gonna put the life jacket on. I will get in the water.
Okay, well, hey, this is Cabo. This is Cancun.
But like
this
I
is
know
the
how
Rio.
they said babies can swim
Yeah.
from birth, and that would be the time to start them out. Like I got a granddaughter. She just turned 2. I
Yeah.
think it'd be great for her to learn how to swim.
Make
Okay.
sure she gets some lessons.
Hey, well, then
Yeah.
2 years, why don't you bring her
that's,
down?
That's why she's a granddaughter. I'll be talking to her mom
Oh,
to
About
say,
taking
hey,
her to
mom,
lessons.
let's make sure that she learns
I
how to
think
swim.
a photograph on the WNOV website of 3 generations of Debo's would be beautiful.
You don't want to see this old beach whale.
wait, that's all the more reason we should put the picture up, man.
Right.
That's exactly.
And you guys will learn about this when Milwaukee Rec
Oh,
actually
yeah,
comes. But
right.
they offer swim classes, and little kids like your granddaughter
Mhm.
can go to Marshall High School or Riverside
Yeah.
or some of the other local high schools and take swim lessons.
Well, see, this is, I think, the benefit of WNOV as being a community voice is getting people the information about things. You said earlier about noise. Pool is underutilized, and that should never be the case. For something that is available to us, we should be in if anything's going on, it should be overuse.
What about the park or the water park piece that they did over at Lincoln? Is
Yeah.
that still open?
Now
It
you know
is.
what?
That's it. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
Wait, keep
there's
these
a
questions
fee.
because we're going to have to ask them when they come.
There's a fee
There's a fee for it.
And speaking, I'm
to,
sorry,
go
go ahead.
to use the water park, because most
Yeah.
of the water parks there's high maintenance and they
Of
have
course,
to hire
of course.
people
Right,
and they have to
right, right.
have lifeguards and all of those things to make sure the kids are safe.
But I'm
There's
just being
the one-
certain that I don't have to go to Greenfield to the one that I know is the out
There
there.
you
Right,
go. There you
right,
go.
right.
In
Our
our
community,
Yeah,
community.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
one in Lincoln Park is over there, and it's a nominal fee. It's not like it costs $25 to take your kids
Right,
over
right.
there. It's $4 or $5, and that
Okay.
helps to
That's-
offset the cost
Right.
for maintaining it.
No, that's beautiful.
And speaking of offerings, and I'm going to ask this question. When was the last time you all saw a Black lifeguard
In the movies?
in real life?
No, I
Real
can tell you.
time.
Wait, I can tell you in the movies.
Okay. Well,
I did
we
see-
want that to change too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But
absolutely.
in order for that to change, that means our kids have to learn how to swim.
That's
And
Okay.
true.
speaking of the offerings, the Milwaukee County Parks Division is offering a junior lifeguard program this summer. They're saying dive into the summer with them. It's going to be held at Wilson Park Pool on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, July 7th through August 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
So you're going to have to come back.
The qualifications are that for 12 to 15-year-olds, they need to be a level 5 swimmer. You can find out what that is by calling that 414-257-8077 number.
Yeah.
You need to be able, you have to pass a swim test.
Well,
Okay, now they're going to train
Did you just say 12?
12 to
You can-
15.
you can be
Junior.
as-
Junior.
yeah.
This is a junior lifeguard
Yeah.
program. There is a cost, $150, but there are scholarships that are available.
Wow.
So again, junior lifeguard. So that means it's somebody that has to already know how to swim.
So actually coming to this would be a good start for
Yes.
somebody. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that is
and hopefully at some point down the road, they would be a lifeguard.
Okay, well, I hear that music, so
they'll
I
be
know it's
lifeguards.
time for another break. So this conversation, we're going to pick it right back up afterwards. Family, this has gone by so quickly, and I've got in the studio today the inimitable, the legendary
Oh my goodness.
Barbara Toles, the honorable former member of the assembly. You got out before it got real cray-cray.
It was crazy when I was in. Now it's like,
It's a
I'm
whole-
sorry, I have to find some other means of community service
There we go.
to serve my community. It's too wild.
Right.
for me.
Well, so it sounds like you put your skills to very good use, very, very good use. And we have also Jerrilynn Freelon, who is
Mhm.
a retiree from the incomparable Northwestern Mutual,
The largest life insurance company in the world.
and has been here all this time, taking up increasing amounts of space downtown. And I'm not mad at them. Wait, if I could get over there myself, I would be like, let me see if I can get that free lunch they got going on in there too. So I've been through that building. I'm like, this is more than a notion. It is incredible in there. I mean, the old building is beautiful. The new building's not too bad either. That view from whatever, I don't even know what the top floor is, but they've got a panoramic view. You can look at the whole city up there. So we have to come back and talk about NML and how come some more.
No, they ain't paying me now. I ain't
wait.
gonna do free marketing.
Hold on. I'm talking about how can we get more of us in there?
Oh,
Now that's a conversation.
that was one of the responsibilities that I had while I worked
Okay,
there.
well, see, we have to call you into service one more time.
A friend of mine came straight out of high school. I think he started working. I think he may still even be there. Leroy
Wow.
Harmon.
Oh yeah, Leroy is the man.
Yeah, Leroy Harmon.
He is the chauffeur for the CEO.
Oh yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
he has the job of
Wait,
jobs.
you got some digits so we can make sure that we get a whole nother show right
I know
there.
where he stayed.
Okay.
Yeah, Leroy is a great guy.
This is all great to hear. So wait, before we were going to break, you were just mentioning about the junior lifeguard, and I just really, one of the things I think we just do not as a community do enough about. We got too many young people who are not ready for a job, who don't know about the job opportunities, who are not prepared, and
It's time to go.
oh man, it's time to go.
You're doing all this build up into a
I know.
commercial.
It's
Ask
man.
the question.
Let me tell you. Here's what we have to do.
You want to bring him back? When?
We're gonna have to. We're going to at least have to announce the
But you know,
flyer one
Sharpton,
more
he gonna come
time.
on and he gonna be like,
Oh man, because
ready
then he's
for
gonna start off with what time it is and
Yeah.
what time it is
Do
for us
you
to
know
leave.
what time it is?
So okay, WNOV family, I guess we're gonna have to say goodbye so somebody else can say hello. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in here. I knew this was gonna fly by. And
Thank you
so,
for having
much
us.
for
Okay,
having us. This
come
has
on
been-
back. Come
This
on
has
back.
been so much
Thank
fun.
you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.